You are listening to the Education Instigator podcast with Daneé and Jay. Time to disrupt the status quo and ignite a fire for educational equity.
Welcome to our first official podcast. My name is Justin Stone. I'm from Trotwood Madison High School. I am a science teacher.
And my name is Daneé Pinckney. I'm the 2025 Ohio Teacher of the Year. I teach high school English at Twinsburg, Ohio. And so we decided that we wanted to do this podcast, just one as two Black educators that happen to come across paths through the Ohio Teacher of the Year program, and then two as disruptors. We realized that we are both people who see the system for what it is, and we want it to be better. And so this is kind of the heart of us coming together to do this podcast. I think we're both a little bit older, but Jay is, he's probably a little bit more cool than me. So he said, let's do a podcast. And I was like, I don't know about podcasts, but okay, if you say it'll work, we'll do it.
And I agree with her. We actually have very similar views, but we have different ways to get there. And having those kind of conversations, these conversations amongst ourselves and allowing others to hear, we feel can assist within this education field, especially in times like this. So we're going to get right into it. First off, we didn't tell you the title. Our podcast title is
Education Instigators.
Because we want to instigate change. Honestly, she came up with the title. Unfortunately, she beat me out. I sent her a plethora of titles, and I showed many people her title, and everyone, including my wife, was like, I like Education Instigators. So here we are. We're going to start off by talking about how we met.
Yeah, I think talking about the Ohio Teacher of the Year program, just it's organic because that is how we met, but also we are in Ohio Teacher of the Year nomination season. And so anyone that's watching this, you still have the opportunity to go ahead and nominate a teacher. And you can be a teacher, you can be a student, a family member, a community member, a parent of a student, a neighbor. If you know a teacher that should be nominated, this is absolutely a great idea for you to put that person in the spotlight. And so with us being Ohio Teachers of the Year, I think we can go through the process. So I don't know about you, but when I got the email saying that I was nominated, I was like, oh, great, more work from people. I had already been selected as the district teacher of the year for my school. And so this was just an organic next step that came with that. But I looked at it and it was like, 5-6 different essays. You had to have your resume, you had to put together a video. And so it was a good bit of work. I don't know. What was your response?
I agree. Personally, unlike Daneé, my district isn't similar. I am in an inner city, Trotwood Madison, so I've not won anything in my district up until that point. So when I received my nomination, I was wanting to do it because of who nominated me. Honestly, it was her first year in the district. She is our curriculum coordinator. Shout out to Rachel Murdoch. She was a Ohio Teacher of the Year finalist 2018. So when I got it, I read her letter and I truly was like, yo, this ain't me. And I think she and I have talked about this whole imposter syndrome where we know we're great at what we do, but are we the best, and not saying that it's the better teacher, this, that, and the third, but
and we know that it's not a competition amongst teachers on who's the best or who's the better teacher, winners or losers situation, just because we see that in our own cohort. We see that we're surrounded by phenomenal teachers who I feel like I don't hold a match up to an Allison or to an Aaron or to a Jennifer. But I know that I'm doing a wonderful job in my area and they are doing wonderful jobs in their area. And I shouldn't be comparing myself. That's not what teaching is about. Teaching, the field needs all of us and all of our differences and each of us to be great in whatever those different ways are.
You start to learn as you meet our cohort. And this is the greatest thing about it. I know she said we do a lot and we have done some amazing things. I love all 10 of the people I've met within my cohort. So I got it. I'm reading this application, being honest with you all, it's 26 pages, 5 essays, a 3-minute video I can remember. However, what really got me going was, hey, it's 10 PD hours if I turn it in. I was like, hey, 20 PD hours if you become district, and so on and so forth. So just by doing this application, those people that are coming up to that 5th year, to renew their licensure, you get 10 PD hours just for doing it. And do the person that nominated you that favor. It does take the person that nominates you to write up an essay to say, hey, man, this person meant a lot to me, my child, my community, whatever the case may be. But for me not to do that application, I felt it would have been a slight to Mrs. Murdoch. So it's worth it. I will say that.
I think it worked for me because I'm in this place in my life, especially in my career, where I'm looking for opportunities to be more introspective, to be more reflective of my practice. And so when I see these types of prompts, and we're saying essay sounds very intense.
Paragraph.
It's a little bit, right? But when you go through this process as a teacher, it causes you to reflect on what you've been doing and what you've been doing well. And I think for me, personally, I need that. Like, I need to feel like I'm big up in myself because, like you said, there's the imposter syndrome, and maybe that's not something I've been struggling with so much lately, but I definitely get fatigued. I definitely struggle with burnout. And so I put it as a priority for me to be reflective and then put myself in spaces where I'm going to be valued. And I will say that the Teacher of the Year program is so, so wonderful. Like the way that they have showered us with love and elevated us and put us in spaces with other teachers such as Jay, who are just so phenomenal and they are so passionate. And you need that in this field because you can feel very, very bogged down. You can get stuck kind of in the same old sameness of your everyday lunchrooms, your hallways, those kind of conversations. So being around teachers from different places, one, seeing that you all have similar issues, but also seeing how other people are staying passionate is very, very inspirational. Plus, there's a lot of good perks that come with it. What's something that we've done?
We got water bottles. We got... No. Look, I love
we did it. Really nice. We got really nice plants for finalists.
Honestly, first and foremost, I've seen the governor on 3 occasions. I mean, that's something that's not common to any just normal teacher or normal Ohioan. Beyond that, my family was involved. We are right here in Port Clinton, Ohio at an SEL symposium that was amazing. I would have not known anything about this had it not been for this. But I do want to go back to something she said, that when she said it, I thought, like, man, that's a great point. Yes, it sounds like a lot of work, right? But the essays, literally, they're about you. And as I wrote these things, it was like, I could not believe the stuff I've done since I've been in education. Because when you're good at what you do this stuff effortlessly. It's like just a part of your routine, and you change up and you might add this or you might take away this. And so as I wrote these things, I just was like, yo, I really been balling out, And thanks to the people that got me there. I mean, one of the essays was about mentoring and things of that nature. And shout out Michael Ville, who mentored me to become the science teacher I am. So I just want to reflect back on that before we kept moving forward. That is a good perk of writing your essays. You're like, yo, I did not remember this. And even reading some of the people's stuff, you're like, dang, I forgot to add that. Or, man, they are doing an amazing job. We don't give good kudos enough in education. We hear so much negative about the profession and about teachers and about education. It's good to just have that positivity,
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this is a good time to do it. Just know that.
And it's just such a humble field. Like even when you come into education, you're told like, you're not doing it for the money because you won't get paid much. You're doing it because you love the kids. And it's like, well, one, I mean, we're do okay. But you do have to take those moments where you're not being humble because what you are doing is difficult. What you are doing is important. And if you are doing a good job at it, then baby, pat yourself on the back. You deserve it. And I think that these types of applications, writing grants, pursuing your own professional development, all of those are ways that we can figure out how we can continue to grow and also congratulate ourselves for the ways that we have grown and the way that we have been successful. I look for these opportunities where I feel like I'm being honored in the same way that I see my lawyer friends being honored or my doctor friends being honored or my friends who are involved in politics, because it's like, I feel like what I'm doing is pretty valuable and I don't care what anybody else is saying. I know that this is important work. We are the ones who push forward all of those other fields. And so being able to be in these spaces where people are like, we want to give you a nice meal. I tell people all the time, open bars. Like they have open bars for teachers. I just found this out a few years ago and that's lit. Like I'm not even super drinker. We're not a big drinker, but it's nice to be in a space where you feel like somebody's like, you deserve this. And then I bring up the Fun for Teachers grant, Martha Holding Jennings Foundation. These are places where not only are they valuing you and giving you the nice dinners and the meals, but then they are also, one, connecting you with the people that I've, eventually built these relationships with, the Ohio Teacher of the Year. The Fun for Teachers grant allows you to say, what is it that you need as a professional to grow? And then we will help you fund it. So I traveled throughout Western Africa to help build up my class on Black literature. Last year I went with my mother because she's also a teacher, and we traveled to the Galapagos Islands with my son and my mom's son, which is crazy, but he's my baby brother, so he's 6. Whole other story for a different time. But we've been able to have all these amazing opportunities because I have made it a journey to pursue places and events and nonprofits and organizations where I feel valued. And so again, just to bring it back, that is what Ohio Teacher of the Year offers. And so it's so important that you nominate somebody. But
please nominate.
So once we get past the process of writing the application and everything, I don't know about you. I wrote it, and I'm a person that likes to just check stuff off my list. Like maybe I'm type A, but also I kind of am type B too. So I like to check stuff off my list. I think I finished that application within that first week. And I was like, I'm over it. Let me just send it off and leave it in God's hands. I forgot about it. And then I got a phone call at my nephew's birthday party from my representative from the State Board of Education, Tom Jackson. And he just let me know that I won. And I was like, ooh, I'm glad I answered with some sense because I don't even know the number.
Jeez.
But I don't even know. It took me a second for that even to settle in. Like, I got District 10 Teacher of the Year. Okay. What does that mean? Yeah. I didn't know.
Oh, man, this is crazy. We totally opposite. I mean, they sent out an extension for my district.
I did not know this.
Hey, look, this is new to her, right? And don't get me wrong, I got mine in the day it was due, but I remember the week before it was due, I guess somebody was like, Stone's still gonna turn that in. So one thing I want you all to know, I'm old. She'll tell you this. I'm old, so I printed the application, one, because first of all, anything you do on the application is not safe. So if you choose to do it online first and you're like, oh man, I can't finish it today, you get back on tomorrow, it's gone. So I printed it out and already had it on paper. And I was like, let me kind of do my stuff on Word, this, that, and the third. I'm a Word guy. But what I'm bringing that up, some of the stuff is not essay. So you might just be filling out your name, putting in your school demographics and those type of things. That doesn't save on that.
You know what? I just never closed out my tab. So mine's did save. But yeah.
Okay. She's in Twinsburg. I'm in Trotwood. We closing tabs out. Now, but no, I turned mine in and I said, Miss Murdoch is going to be proud of me. That's really how I felt. I was like, look, I did it. Whatever comes from there, I'm cool. I can remember receiving an email. I didn't get a phone call. I got an email saying, you're District 3 Ohio Teacher of the Year. And again, like she said, I'm reading this. And I'm like, what does that even mean? District 3, I don't know if this is Hunger Games. Is this, I really was shocked. I didn't expect to win. That's the craziest thing about it. It was, once again, we're very humble. I love what I do. I love the impact I make on my students. I don't know if I make the same impact statewide. So even as I was writing my papers, I'm like, man, everybody's doing this. I'm just beyond. I didn't add this, though. I didn't go to school for education. My undergrad degree is biology. So I came to teaching through an alternative route. So I always felt like those people that know education are far light years ahead of me, right? So the stuff that I'm learning, because I'm like, I don't want to lose. I want to know more. I'm one of those type of people. Do I deserve it? So let me go
and are we the best people to represent
correct
education?
And I think the reason why we really push towards not saying that it's a competition is because ultimately we know that there are so many wonderful, amazing teachers that are in this field, and we would not be able to highlight the best one. There's not a best one. We're all great in different ways. Even when we talk about differentiation in students in classrooms, we know that that's the exact same thing with teachers. And so really what Teacher of the Year does is it puts certain teachers on a platform to be a representative for all teachers. And sometimes it's because their message is one that is relevant to what is going on right now in society, or maybe it's because their message is one that is lacking in society. And really, that is the ultimate goal of the Teacher of the Year platform, to be a voice for teachers in time periods and moments in society and history where certain stories are needed, or certain faces or voices are needed.
Shockingly, you see their pictures and you're like, I don't know about so and so, but from Mindy, Michelle, I mean, I can go through each and every last one. Aaron, it's just Aaron and I, the two males in this cohort.
So when he says cohort, the Ohio Teachers of the Year, once we were all selected as our district winners, we then became the 2025 Ohio Teacher of the Year cohort. And so we represent all the different state board of education districts in Ohio. And each of us are the Teacher of the Year for our region, essentially. So yeah, I'll just clarify.
Yeah, I appreciate you doing that, because I didn't understand that either when they said that District 3. But this, I wouldn't know Daneé if it wasn't for this whole Teacher of the Year thing. Getting to meet her as one of the finalists, I got to figure her out, because I truly.
Even before we get there, you wait.
Yeah. I'm jumping the gun.
So we get the information that we are all in a cohort together. Similar to what he was saying, I know I looked at all the names of the email that were in the email. I looked up everybody. I read all of our bios, and I was like, oh shoot, these people are super impressive. And it is, even with me doing the reflection that came through the application, I still, that quickly you can forget what you wrote about yourself and you're reading about everybody else. And you're like, oh, nah, they did this.
Yeah.
This person has a whole EMT program they created. Yeah. What?
Shout out
my gosh. This person, like this. There's just some really, really cool things that the teachers around the state are doing. And so we ended up having a virtual meeting where they were going to announce the finalists.
And it's funny she brings that. We had some virtual meetings prior to the finalist announcement. So we actually met each other first through Zoom. Mm-hmm. So we're looking at each other. And
what was that first meeting about? I don't even remember.
Congratulating us. It was kind of like letting us know, hey, congratulations.
Because both of the Pauls were there, right?
Correct. Okay. Yes, it was both Pauls, State Board of Education president, as well as
Paul Kraft and Paul LaRue.
Yeah. So when we get on there, you instantly trying to figure out everyone on that. I mean, let's just be honest here. I don't know any of them. We districts all across the state of Ohio. So you're looking, you're like, okay, this person probably this, that, and the third. You have people asking questions if they already won.
So the big thing for us was
I'll take that win out.
So like, just
ain't no winner, so you gotta take this out.
Okay, I got you. So the big thing for us is that first of all, they put out the picture. So we see the picture of every single person in each district. And so right away, you notice that it's 2 Black people. Like I got my family like, okay, I see they got 2 Black people. Yeah, it's 2 Black people on the list. All right. And so we still had not had a conversation. So then when we get to the Zoom call about the finalists, they kind of did us crazy because...
First off, she was in DC. I can remember. I
was in DC. I was in DC doing professional development.
My reflection is great. I can remember they announced the 4. So
no. I wasn't in DC when they announced me as a finalist.
That was the first meeting. My bad. Yeah. So when they announced the 4, this is something that's funny because she and I didn't know Daneé, so I didn't speak my truth to her at first. But they announced Jen Winkler. I can tell you the order.
She was first, yeah.
Jen Winkler, and next name was Michelle Dorman.
And I had already coined that Michelle was going to be a finalist in my head.
Did too.
Because I was like, Michelle, she's giving finalist energy.
She had that smile of a finalist. You hear me? Shout out Michelle. So then I'm like, they about to call Daneé. And if this is okay, I'm going to just be honest. This is a true, honest Black thought. And no matter what room we go into, we look for each other. but we also know it's
I don't
only
look for
room.
Jay. I look for another black person.
That's what I mean.
I didn't
That's
know
what.
him, so.
No, not each other. But I'm just saying, black. She's narcissistic. But we have this mentality that's been constantly passed down through our lives that it's only room for one of us. So, unbeknownst to us at this time, it was she said she thought the same way I did. Once they called me, I was number 3. Hey, first they'll be last. The first.
Oh, now you know the scripture. Okay.
First she'll be
so
last.
They called Jay's name, and I thought, cool, bet. All right, well, I won't be a finalist. That's fine. They got their black person.
See, hey.
And then they called my name. And
it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I will be
it was
honest.
really nice.
And truth be told, here we go again. I don't know if this is gonna make it, but I was like, is she really black? Right? I mean, you know, she was very fair skinned, and she had this long blonde hair that I was like, I mean, she had Twinsburg, you know. I was like, maybe she is someone that's not going to be not. I don't want to use
It was
the word
one of all the
radical.
kin folks ain't skin folk type
Correct.
thing. Am I
That's
saying
true.
that right? No,
Yeah.
I said it wrong. All skin folk ain't kin folk. There you
Correct.
go.
So that's
Yeah.
and so that was my instant thought. Like, dang, this mug is a sellout. I hate using these terms, but this is the truth. This is how we feel. And
I couldn't think that about him because he had the braids.
You feel me? I was in there. She knew it. The beard.
But the good thing about us both being finalists is that the 4 of us got to meet in person ahead of time. And so we, I think this was in August, maybe early August, we had our finalist interviews.
Nah, it was July. Oh, we did have an interview in August.
It was
like man in July.
Not in real person.
Oh,
though.
You're right. I'm making stuff up.
So we all met together. Our interviews were on a Friday morning. Yeah. We got together on a Thursday, and then we went and got food, and it was just really nice. Yeah. It was nice. I don't know about you. I do know about you because I saw you the next day, but that day before, and really that whole time leading up to it, I was so nervous. Like I felt sick. It was just a terrible feeling. And it was nice to be with people that also seemed nervous, and he didn't. So that first day, Thursday, when we were all out, he just seemed so chill, and I was super annoyed with him in my head.
But I think this comes, in all honesty, I think as a black male, where I'm always in spaces like this, majority female, my expectation is it is what it is. I can't be nervous because this is my norm. I mean, either I'm gonna be.
I wasn't nervous about y'all. I was nervous about the process, like the whole interview and everything.
By that time, let me tell y'all this: when you already expect to lose, I gotta stop use that term, lose. But when you don't even expect to be where I was,
to be acknowledged,
you know, when you don't expect to make it to this point, you've already accomplished a lot. Like my feeling was, I'm sitting with 3 of the top teachers in the state of Ohio right now. Well, 3 other finalists with me. And just hearing each one of them and the things they do and the things, I was like, I mean, Jen's talking about glass blowing and Michelle's talking about her Ed Rising program. And Daneé's talking about this new class and this new curriculum she created from scratch. And I'm like, where do I fit in? You know, in the grand scheme of it all, I still felt like, hey, I'm here for a reason. So it was no point to me to be like, oh man, when I present tomorrow. Now, deep down inside, I probably still felt like I didn't belong. Being honest, if I'm gonna be truthful, I was like, hearing you all at that table at Bakersfield, having those conversations, I may have still felt like I was the underdog. And
he was seeming calm, cool, and collected.
Because I'm playing with house money.
So we got to pick our numbers for what order we would go in. Ooh. And I was so salty because I was like, I want to make sure that I go first. And that was so important to me. And I was the last person that was picked, but of course somebody wanted to go first, so I got it. Boom. So I have my interview and everything first. I felt really good about it. I was glad to be done. And then when I'm leaving from our hotel, he was heading to his interview. And I saw him and he was shivering his timbers. He was actually nervous. And like he had tried to act so cool the night before. Who was it? I had saw Michelle and Jen, and we both were talking. Like, Jay didn't seem nervous at all. And I said, I saw him. He was nervous. He was nervous. But that is when that's true. I'm talking
about the numbers thing. She got to pick second.
Oh, I wasn't.
Michelle got the first number. She picked
She
my
took your
time
number.
slot.
Yeah.
She picked 3. I wanted 3. She picked it.
I wasn't second.
You got to pick second. Michelle picked her time first.
Mhm.
You picked second. Jen said she wanted to go last. I had the last number.
Oh, okay.
And I was trying to say, I guess this is more like being a gentleman. I'm letting all the women.
That could be true. I'm not gonna argue.
See how she does things.
That
But
could be true.
was
I wanted to go first.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I was not nervous presenting. I was nervous with my message. And my message is talking about how the state has not done enough to assist minority students. And we have data that shows it. We continue to produce this data. So I'm like, do I go in here and water down this message? And that's what I was kind of, probably when I walked by her, I was thinking that in my head, like, do I stick with what I know I'm going to talk about, or do I need to kind of soften this? So that was my uneasiness, not nervous, but just a little uneasy. And once I got in there, I was like, hey, I'm here now. Talk about it. You know, so don't listen to me.
So
that was also the time I asked her a very pertinent question.
What did you ask me?
I said,
that's when you accused me of not being black.
I said, are you black?
No, that's not what you said. So he on his way into his interview, and then he said, oh, and I had my people from back home was calling me and asking me if you was black. And then he said, that's what she said.
Right. And I felt that way. You know, you got to put it on somebody else.
They was asking me if he was black, and I said, yeah. And I said, you told him I'm blackity black? And he was like, yeah. Or that's you said I said blackity black black. I could have said any though.
And I mean, again, it was a good feeling overall. Whether she, unfortunately, I'm trying to move past that, because we do have this issue within our culture as Black Americans where we kind of pigeonhole people to be a certain way. I want y'all to know, when I asked her about her being black, it was not her in that kind of narrative. It was more, are you pushing for our kids? Are you using that? Because again, me personally, I'm trying to build a Mecca. I try to get every teacher I can into my district, which is my majority, 95% Black students, where every teacher, I feel like we have 2,800 total students. And if I could get teachers like Daneé and other teachers around, and it doesn't have to be Black, but those that are empowering our students, I'm really just trying to promote that to help our district move.
And I think it's okay to say that. Like, I don't like this idea that we have to like skirt around saying what we really feel when we say we want people that are for the people. I think that has been true throughout history. Like when I teach in my Black Lit class about just any of the stories that we talk about. We talk about Nat Turner, who snitched on him, who snitched on Harriet Jacobs up in the attic. These are Black people. Like,
I got you.
People are people no matter what group you are in, and not everybody is for the cause that you are for. And so I agree with you on that. Like I definitely work through that too. And it's not, I don't think there's anything to be ashamed of. You have to make sure all people are for you. Even, I mean, as a woman, are all the women fighting for the rights that women need? Not all of them. So everybody not a part of this woman thing.
I take everything back I just said that.
So yeah, I'm okay with that. I mean, I remember being in a meeting with my superintendent and saying that to her. We have to be very intentional about us just checking off boxes for diversity, because it doesn't mean anything. I mean, no, I won't say it doesn't mean anything. Representation matters.
Yeah.
But I value much more people who are not just representing in face, but representing in value.
Totally agree.
So I think that was more so where you were coming from, was like, are you representing in value? And then I had to be like, yes, of course.
And I just wanted to clear that up. I didn't want it to be like you look Black. I didn't want people to think it was just that persona, because I did talk about the blonde hair and all that. But I just want to see, was she for that move? Like we've done too much to still be where we are, you know, and that's the reason we're where we are, is because we don't have enough people having that candid conversation, those uncomfortable conversations that may be hurtful. Whether it's to me, whether it's to our other students, whatever the case may be.
And even if they're not hurtful, they're uncomfortable.
True.
It's uncomfortable to have that conversation. Like I remember that conversation I was talking about with the superintendent, and somebody said, well, what do you mean by that? Yeah. Not everybody is for us. Like everybody's not a part of the struggle that looks like they should be in the struggle. And ew, I don't like saying the struggle like it's a cool club to be in. It's not. We don't want to be in it.
It is.
You know what? Okay, so this is a side note, and I'm going off on a tangent. But I saw a video recently. I think it was a TikTok video, and the girl was saying how Black people have made poverty look like we enjoy it. We gotta come back to that another day. Stay tuned. We're gonna have some more cool conversations.
We got some good stuff coming your way.
Yes, but we at least wanted to establish just the beginnings of that. So that is how we met the Ohio Teacher of the Year program. Results of the interviews and the process, I was named the Ohio Teacher of the Year. So I get the honor of continuing to work with my cohort, but also working with teachers all across the U.S. I recently returned back from California, where we had the National Teacher of the Year orientation. So there were 56 of us from the different states and territories of the U.S. In D.C. And so there are just some really, really cool opportunities that are coming out of this, and we're doing our best. It's a tough time, and so they picked the right ones.
Yeah.
For this period. And it was just really important to us to get out here and start talking about it. Yeah. So like I said, our next episodes, we will talk about some more deeper subjects, but we just wanted to introduce you to how we met, what the program is, and then hurry up and beat that deadline for you all to get people nominated. Because again, your teachers need to feel valued. They need to feel supported. Remember, there's a lot of things going on right now where a lot of teachers are feeling the weight. We are feeling the burden of the restrictions that are coming our way, of the funding that is becoming limited, the threat of larger class sizes. And so this is a wonderful time for you to go on, fill out that nomination form, nominate a teacher, make them smile, even if it doesn't go anywhere. At least them seeing that someone sees them is so important.
Nominate more. I mean, if you have more teachers that are very instrumental in your life, your children's life, whatever the case may be, we have to learn that, hey, these teachers need to be praised. I mean, because we don't see it enough. I know we believe that teachers get the love, but most of this stuff is a snowball effect. When it's at the top not doing well, it looks like the teachers. I mean, it's constant. When things aren't doing well, what are the teachers doing? I hear this even on the news. We got to get rid of bad teachers. And this, so we hear the negative. It's always good to hear something positive.
Mm-hmm. And if you know a Black teacher that you can nominate, even better, because you see, it ain't that many of us out here.
Hey, make sure they good, though. Don't just nominate them because they Black, because I'm going to tell you, now.
So we got more for y'all coming in future episodes. We're going to try to keep posted with you all every 2 weeks or so. Right now, we're in Port Clinton because we attended an SEL conference where we were able to speak on culturally relevant social emotional learning, specifically pertaining to Black children. But we are really looking forward to talking with you all. Like he said, he's in Dayton. I'm all the way in Stowe. And so we will more than likely be doing these chats from Zoom. But we have more to come. He's going to talk to you about the data perspective and about science. He's going to talk to you about being a Black male in education. I'm going to bore you to death with talking about Black literature and books and all the different ways that I get my students excited about reading and learning about Black history. And I think we'll be able to have some good conversations. You all will see that we don't agree on everything, but I think that it's great that we can have these conversations and ultimately our hearts are in the right place. Do you like that phrase? Because you told me yesterday you didn't like. Intentions don't matter. But you say intentions don't matter. The conversation. Can I say our hearts are in the right place? Is that good?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Before I leave, because I've not told her this. The state did an amazing job of selecting the Ohio Teacher of the Year. Ms. Daneé Pinkney, I've sat through numerous of her presentations, and she is doing a phenomenal job. I'm extremely happy to be by her side on these podcasts. Even though I don't agree with everything she says, I do believe she is doing an amazing job in education and will continue to do in the near future.
And he does agree with everything I say. He just doesn't like to tell me he does. Secret. Y'all have a good one. Until next time.
Thanks for tuning in.
Do that again, because I don't like that you said Ohio Teachers of the Year.
So I'm a loser, man.
No, I don't like that you said that at all. I'm trying to figure out. Okay.
Educator Instigators out.